Welcome back to the channel. My name's Tom, and today I'm taking a look at New England's third largest mall. This is the Holyoke Mall at Ingleside, which most people just call the Holyoke Mall, in Holyoke, Massachusetts. The last time I was here was back in October of 2022, which was over 2.5 years ago at this point, so I figured it was time for an update video on this mall. Back in 2022, it was my conclusion that this mall was definitely not dead. In fact, it was one of the busiest malls I'd been to at that point. So how's it doing in April 2025? Well, come along with me and let me show you. This video was filmed on a Sunday at about 3 p.m. a couple of weeks ago, and I would say it's just as busy as I remember it being back in 2022, especially once we get beyond this area here. In fact, it got so busy at some points that I almost felt uncomfortable, like it was just too many people, which is a good thing for businesses, of course, but it makes filming at a mall a little bit more difficult. And don't forget, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, and hit that notification bell. I've got a lot more mall videos coming up. And if you've seen my recent community posts, I've had some issues with a couple of my mall videos recently, and it appears that a few of them may possibly get taken down. I'm not going to go into detail right now, but that looks like a possibility. So recently I set up a Patreon account to help out with any loss of income I might have from these videos getting deleted. And if you subscribe to the premium tier on Patreon, you'll also get bonus videos. Right now it's probably going to be 1 a month or so, depending on how many actual subscribers I get to that. And the Patreon channel is called Flea Bitten Adventures, so it's pretty easy to find. Thanks. Straight ahead obviously is the Best Buy, which opened in 1999. I'm not sure what used to be in that location before that, though. It's kind of funny with this mall. It's a very big mall, very popular, but the amount of information on it online isn't that great. There's not a lot of detail about the stores that used to be in here, when they opened, when they closed, things like that. So if anybody can tell me what used to be in here before 1999, please let me know in the comments. So now a little history on this mall. It opened in 1979, and at the time it was New England's largest mall, and also the first multi-level mall in this area. It's currently the third largest mall in New England, as I mentioned. Size-wise, it comes in just behind South Shore Plaza and the Natick Mall, both of which are also in Massachusetts. The original anchor stores were JCPenney, which is to the left right there, G. Fox, Sears, and Steigers, and today JCPenney is the only remaining original anchor store, which, like I've said before, is often the case in many malls in this part of the country. The original and current owner of the mall is the Pyramid Companies, and I haven't been to too many malls owned by them, so I can't really say what kind of reputation they may or may not have. I think I've been to Crossgates Mall in New York and also Champlain Center in New York, and I believe they are both owned by the Pyramid Companies. And Crossgates is definitely doing very well. Champlain Center not so much, but none of them I would say are clear-cut dead malls. And this mall here is definitely not dead. From what I understand, this mall has generally been successful for most of its life. There are multiple reasons for that, but the major one seems to be that none of the nearby malls are able to compete with Holyoke Mall's selection of stores, dining, and entertainment options. The nearby Hampshire Mall is tiny in comparison. The Enfield Square Mall, just over the border in Connecticut, is set to be demolished later this year, and Springfield's Eastfield Mall was demolished in 2023. So as a result, this mall really doesn't have any serious competition in the area. Another thing going for it is that it's right off of I-91, a major interstate highway in this area. It's close to the largest city in the area, Springfield, Massachusetts, and it's only about 20 minutes from the border with Connecticut, so it draws in a lot of customers from Connecticut. And also, like I mentioned, it appears that the owners of this mall do care about it succeeding, unlike some other mall owners that we know. If I'm missing anything or you think I'm wrong about that, please let me know. I think my favorite part about this mall is that it still has some of the original 1979 styling, mostly in the skylights and this wood paneling you see here. This wood paneling is scattered throughout the mall, and that's all original to 1979. Now, originally, of course, the mall had a lot more water fountains and also plants everywhere. There are still some plants, as you can see, but it was full of plants. back up through, I think, the 80s when they started to remove a lot of that stuff, sadly. Straight ahead where the Target is today, that's where the original anchor store G Fox was located, I believe, until 1993 when it became a Filene's. I'm guessing though because I couldn't find anything online specifically stating when the G Fox became Filene's, but my understanding is pretty much all the G Foxes became Filene's in 93. And then this mall built an addition, a whole new wing to the mall in 1995, and I think the Filene's moved to that new wing, and then eventually the Filene's became the Macy's, which is still here today. Now, Wikipedia claims that G Fox moved to that new wing in 1995, but according to my research, all the G Foxes had already closed by 95, so I don't think G Fox moved to the new wing. I believe they would have already become a Filene's by that point. But if anybody knows for sure, again, please let me know. Coming up on the right is State Line Video Games, which used to be at the Enfield Square Mall. And at first I thought this was their only location at this mall, but they've actually got another location on the first floor, which we'll see in a little bit. And they've got a Spencer's. I think pretty much every mall in this area has a Spencer's. Up ahead in the distance, that's where the Sears used to be. The Sears closed in 2018, and since then they've been using it as a Spirit Halloween every fall. I did do a video at that Spirit Halloween back in October of 2023, but pretty much nobody watched that video. So if you do want to see what that place looks like on the inside now, check out my Spirit Halloween video. There's Bloodlines Tattoos. I think they used to have one of those at the Meriden Mall. There's the outside entrance to Target. Okay, so I believe we're now entering the new wing of the mall that was added in 1995. As I mentioned earlier, as part of the 1995 renovation and expansion of the mall, the Filene's, again, I don't think it was G Fox, I think it was Filene's, moved to the far end of the mall, which is the Macy's today. And they also added a Toys R Us and a Christmas tree shop. I know where the Toys R Us used to be, but I don't know where the Christmas tree shop used to be. The mall also had another renovation back between 2014 and 2015, which was mostly cosmetic from what I understand, so they added new lighting, new seating, and new floors. But I don't think they did much beyond that. On the right, as you can probably tell by the facade, that used to be a 99 restaurant, and that was open back in 2023 when I was here for the Spirit Halloween, and I actually had lunch there that day. I think it closed in 2024, and I'm really sad to see that because the 99 and other places like TGI Fridays, that type of restaurant, are honestly the type of restaurant I really love, and they seem to be going away. And there, of course, is the Macy's, which, as I've said a few times now, was Filene's when it first opened in this wing of the mall, I believe, and then it became the Macy's in 2006. This Monsoon Bistro is fairly new. I don't think that was there in 2023. Thought this was kind of unusual. I don't think I've been to another mall where they've had pamphlets on display before like this. At least not in a central location like this. And there's the old Sears again. The Spirit Halloween is usually on the first floor. And I don't think they do anything with the second floor as far as I know. This is a candy store called It's Sugar, and the only other one I've seen of these, I think, was at the American Dream Mall in New Jersey. Now, that store, of course, was 3 stories tall and way more spectacular than that, but that's the only other one I've ever seen. In addition to this wood paneling, another thing that's been here since 1979 is this elevator. And I love it, mainly because it looks so late 70s, early 80s. I don't think it's been updated at all since then. It's not quite as nice as the elevators at Stamford Town Center, but it's not bad.
There's firemen below.
All right, so coming up ahead, this is where I believe the original anchor store Steiger's was located. I think the Steiger's closed sometime in the early 90s. It then became Lord & Taylor in 94. The Lord & Taylor closed in 2005. I think it was then replaced by a Borders Books in 2008. They closed in 2011. There might have been something in here in between, but then this Billy B's moved in 2016. And then straight ahead, you can see that's the Round 1, which is actually on the second floor. They moved in 2019, and I think both the Billy B's and the Round 1 take up the old Steiger's location, as far as I can tell. Alright, so now let's head down to the first floor. Luckily, the down escalator here is working because, as you can see, the up escalator is not, and at the other end, neither up or down is working. Looks like their FYE's not closing anytime soon. Pretty much all the FYEs in Connecticut have closed, I think, other than the one at Trumbull Mall. And a few of the ones in Massachusetts are closing too, but this one doesn't have any signs up indicating it's closing, which is always good to see. On the right here, this used to either be a fountain or just a pond of some sort, but it definitely had water in it. And I don't think I ever got an answer as to what this was a part of. If it was just part of the mall or if this was for a specific store or restaurant, not really sure. But there seems to be a little entrance straight ahead there where it goes into another area, but I'm not sure where it goes. And then that used to be a Pizzeria Uno. I think that was open when I was here last time. And then on the right here, they're building a pickleball court called Pickleball Kingdom. Says it's going to open in December of this year. And it seems like pickleball courts are going into a lot of malls nowadays. This sign says coming soon Aussie Barbershop, it looks like. Here's something I don't see too often in a mall, a convenience store. The last time I was here, I think this was a Dick's Warehouse store, and originally this was the G Fox location, and then eventually became the Filene's before, again, they moved down to the other end of the mall.
That was the place where I got my phone. Yeah. Coming.
What's going on, sir? Hello, sir.
rotate.
This Hobby Lobby's been here since 2013, and I'm not sure what was in there before that. Would have been a big store though. And like I was mentioning earlier, here is the other State Line video game location. I'm really surprised to see two of these in the same mall. It's good to see, but it's surprising. This is the Altitude Trampoline Park. This opened in 2021, and I could be wrong, and I probably am, but I think the Toys R Us was in here at one point.
Okay, well, I didn't.
Coming up is Planet Fitness, and I know for a fact that Toys R Us used to be in this location here. I don't know if they went as far as where the Altitude Trampoline Park is or not, but they were definitely here.
Come here.
When I was at the mall 2 weeks ago, this JD Sports was not open yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's open now. I actually don't know, but it looks like it was going to be opening in the very near future. Now let's head down to the food court, which is also known as the basement. Here's what the food court looked like back when the mall first opened. And as you can see, back then there was a huge water fountain. There were separate levels, like terraces almost. Many more plants than are here today. And it just looked much more natural back then. And then I think in the late 80s, I believe, is when they cleared most of that out. And since then, it's looked pretty much the way it does now, for the most part. I think they've changed the tables and chairs, but I think this is the same basic look since the late 80s. From what I've read, when this mall first opened, there was an 8-screen movie theater down here, which I think was located straight ahead where this United Tractor Trailer School is today. That theater closed, I believe, in the late 80s and was replaced by mini golf. And then I think at some point somebody said there was an arcade in here. And I think it was right here to the left. When I was here back in 2023, on the left, this used to be a Burlington. I'm not sure when that moved out, but couldn't have been too long. And now I was going to take a ride in this elevator, but I was literally waiting 10 minutes and it didn't come, so I just gave up. That's just too long a wait. Another thing I was planning on doing while at the mall was filming round one, like doing a full walkthrough and playing some games, but it was just way too busy for that. So I think what I'll do is I'll come back sometime during the week when it should be much less busy. Alright, so because the up escalator out here is not working, I did have to take the escalator in the JCPenney to get back up to the second floor. And then don't go anywhere yet. Next I'm going to do a drive around of the mall and we can see what it looks like from the outside. Alright, so now that you've seen the inside of the mall, let me know what you think about it in the comments. Once again, I say the mall is doing fine. It seems to be even thriving. I don't see any indication whatsoever of it being dead or dying, but, again, let me know what you think in the comments. And then again, don't go anywhere yet. Next, we're going to do a drive around of the mall. And here's the only remaining original anchor store, JCPenney. And I'm not sure, but I think this exterior has been updated since 1979. I'm pretty sure it has been. Not sure if that was upgraded in the mid-90s or 2015. I'm thinking probably the mid-90s because it doesn't look that updated. Not sure what restaurant this used to be. It almost looks like the 99, but the 99 was on the second floor. And here's the Macy's, which, like I mentioned, used to be the Filene's. And also, like I mentioned, I don't think that this location was ever a G-Fox, as far as I can tell. And then this is where Toys R Us used to be, and it's now the Planet Fitness. This is where the Sears used to be. And as you can see, this parking lot's all torn up, so they're doing something here. I'm just not sure what exactly. It's kind of like a little maze just getting through here. Now let's do one more loop around the mall, but this time we're going to do it from the outside track so you can get a better idea of what the mall looks like overall. And there you have it. That is the Holyoke Mall in Holyoke, Massachusetts. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, and hit that notification bell. I've got a lot more mall videos, store walkthroughs, and flea market videos coming up, as well as some other random videos as well. And again, if you really want to support my channel, head on over to my Patreon, which is also called Flea Bitten Adventures, and subscribe to that. If you pay for the premium tier, I will be adding some exclusive videos on there. Haven't added any yet, as I just set it up literally yesterday, but I will be adding those videos shortly. They'll probably be maybe on average one a month or so, depending on how many actual subscribers I get. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.